Hello virtual, let's read the question. The question says just select the wrong option. So which one of the following is wrong here? So first option is given that fermentation is partial breakdown of glucose, but aerobic respiration is complete breakdown of the glucose in CO2 plus water. So fermentation of the glucose, this is partial. So this one is the correct answer because for, as you know, the fermentation process, this is that is lactic acid formation. Lactic acid fermentation. In this lactic acid fermentation, NADH, this is transferred into the electron directly to the pyruvate, directly to the pyruvate, and generating the lactate as a byproduct, and it generate the lactate. This is the byproduct, and the lactate which is just deprotonated from the lactic acid, and this gives the process through name, that is lactic acid fermentation. And in this case, the bacteria that make yogurt, this carry out the lactic acid fermentation, and this is participate in the lactic acid fermentation, and take part in the breakdown of the it break the lactic acid into the lactate, or pyruvate into the lactate or lactic acid, and which do not have any and this bacteria do present in the RBC. This is present in the RBC, and this is not found in the mitochondria, and that, so for that cannot perform the cellular respiration. So this cannot perform the cellular respiration. Cellular respiration. So for that, which one is the correct? So first one is correct. So for that, fermentation is a partial breakdown. So this is the partial breakdown, but in the aerobic respiration it is complete breakdown because it doesn't participate in the cellular respiration. So for that, the breakdown of glucose is partial. So this one is the correct answer. Then, but the question is asking about wrong option. So NADH plus H plus. So in this case, the NADH plus H plus, this undergo the very slow formation and fermentation, and it form the NAD plus. So this is the process. As we know the whole process, that is the glucose when it converted to the pyruvate, this is the glycolysis process, and it formed the two pyruvate. It formed two pyruvate pyruvate, and the glucose is breakdown and forming the pyruvate, and it gives in this case NAD plus is breakdown to form NADH. It reduced to form NADH, and in this case, two ATP are used, and they form a ADP. So ADP breakdown, ADP are combined with another inorganic phosphate, and it combined to phosphate to forming the ATP. So adenosine triphosphate, it formed the adenosine triphosphate. Then from the pyruvate it produced the lactate. This is having the two molecule of lactate are formed here, and in this case the NADH, this NADH is reduced and forming the NAD plus. So this is the process, and this is a very slow process. This is the very slow fermentation process, and this is the fermentation process, that is lactic acid fermentation process. This is very slow, and this is partial breakdown. So this one is correct. Then DH plus S plus, this is a very fast process in the aerobic respiration, as I discussed, because it is a complete breakdown of the glucose. Then this one is the correct here. Then in the respiratory pathway, glycerol changes into the DHAP. So this one is also correct because that is in the respiratory pathway, the glycerol is changes to the DHAP. So this one is also correct here, DHAP. So all these answers are correct, but the question is asking about which one is wrong. So none of the question are wrong. So option A is correct. I hope you understood it well. Best of luck.